Chapter 373. How is Sir Eel's condition? It's nothing serious, but he looks fatigued. I think he can't properly rest when I'm there, so I made sure he was lying down and then left. Kishir walked ahead without hesitation, answering Nathan Zuckerman's question as he waited outside the lodging. Though he wore a habitual smile, Nathan noticed that his eyes were more subdued than usual and chose not to ask further. Have those from Paleta arrived in Tainu? Where are they now? They are on standby near the mansion, ready to come whenever you call, but Shudan wishes to see you as soon as possible. Time is precious not only for them. It will be difficult today, so tell them to come tomorrow. What's the current situation in Tainu? Since the city gates reopened and the square's entrance restrictions were lifted, things have been as usual. The Tainu knights and soldiers are not very cooperative, but that seems to be handled well by cavalry, so we don't think we need to intervene. Has any other information come from the place where the Star of Nagran lingered? No, I'm sorry. There is nothing to be sorry for. It's natural that tracking those who have hidden a village within the Great Serene Forest for over a year is difficult. Anyway, there is already an expected answer to where they will appear, so it doesn't matter. However, the absence of Kana Wand was a bit regrettable. Muttering to himself, Kishir quickly let go of his attachment. He continued to ask various questions to Nathan Zuckerman and gave brief instructions, and soon they were approaching the outside of the mansion. Suddenly, Kishir stopped in his tracks. Why are you doing this? Despite Nathan's cautious inquiry, Kishir gave no answer, lost in thought, staring somewhere. If it had been before, Nathan would have been alert, but now he did not. He quietly stood behind and waited for his lord to emerge from contemplation. Kishir had changed slightly since spending time in the Great Serene Forest than planned. He would process work quickly but occasionally stop as he was now lost in deep thought. His keen senses, honed from a long time at the bottom, still told Nathan Zuckerman much, even after obtaining a power that no one in the world needed to fear. According to those senses, Kishir's sudden deep thoughts were mostly related to Yudhir. His lord's attitude towards that man had crossed a line since what had happened in the Great Serene Forest. His behavior in Tainu afterward went without saying. Nathan felt an indescribable feeling hidden behind frivolous yet meticulous actions that most people didn't find strange. Yet the reason he didn't intervene was not simply because he judged it to be beyond his level. He knew all about how Yudhir had defeated the monster alone, the injuries he sustained, and the risks his lord took to treat them. The knights of Paleta, who found out how blindly and strangely their lord behaved towards the cavalry's new assistant, were surprised. But Nathan Zuckerman's surprise was a bit special. He had been somewhat at a loss on how to treat Yudhir since then. For someone who always acted with clear standards, there had never been a more difficult time. Nathan? Finally, Kishir called his adjutant's name. Yes? Have you ever disliked receiving praise from me? Taken aback by the unexpected question, Nathan was rarely frustrated but seen lowering his head, expressionless. There was none. Yeah, usually that's the case. Then what's the criteria, I wonder? The last words were almost inaudible, but not enough to deceive the swordmaster's ears. What did the word criteria imply? As Nathan Zuckerman alone did not understand the will of his lord and remained silent, Kishir softly exhaled and began to walk again. That wasn't what I intended to ask. Forget what I just said. Understood. Nathan Zuckerman silently followed Kishir again. Yet, inside the loyal knight, the existence of Yudhir fell into a deeper labyrinth. The next morning at breakfast, Pruel, Ever, and Nathan Zuckerman joined them. Although each had met before, this was the first time they were all together, so the atmosphere was a bit awkward. But Kishir, who had arranged this meeting, was simply composed. We need to start working in earnest. So it seems good to know exactly who is who among those who will be on our side. Thank you for responding so quickly to the dinner invitation I sent last night. It's nothing. Pruel, who had settled separately in a chair with a small cat beside him, cheerfully bowed his head with a smile. Sir Eel, how's your body? Did you get enough rest yesterday? Yes, thanks to you. You there, sitting to the right of Kishir, replied quietly. Ever, who was sitting next to him, finally opened her mouth with a slightly relaxed expression. I heard a little about the first prince from the commander when he came to assist with Yudhir's investigation, but I was really surprised. I never knew you were an awakener. Don't be surprised just yet. This little one here is the same. Pointing to the cat with an unbelievably casual tone for a noble son, Cruel smiled, and a question appeared in Ever's eyes. Pardon? Wasn't it just a pet cat? Despite several people entering, the cat that had kept its place quietly and without much tension mewed as if answering. That adorable cat is Pruel's younger brother, Nipelin von Tane. As you can see, an awakener with the ability to transform into a cat. Ever, who had been wearing an expression that she couldn't resist the cuteness of the cat since she first saw it, was deeply shocked. Originally, it's afraid of people, but after confirming that it's not very afraid of fellow awakeners, we decided to take care of it. Prince Pruel is soon to return to the capital. Pardon? His Highness and Sir Ale know that Neplin is human, but I asked earlier for some more trustworthy people. When we tried it this time, Neplin seemed fine even in the presence of many cavalry members. I thought it might be an unreasonable request, but I'm grateful you kindly accepted. Pruel stroked the little head of the cat and bowed his head in gratitude. Yudhir recalled Pruel, who had been with the cat when he returned from spending a night in jail, and thought he knew when the test had been. Ever repeated with the word pardon several times, but after hearing Pruel and Kishir's explanations, she seemed to finally accept Neplin's true identity. Nathan Zuckerman, who found himself seated farthest from the cat, seemed content with understanding why and showed no particular reaction. Then, today, at this gathering, we will discuss to some extent the upcoming operation, announced Kishir, changing the topic and turning his head towards Pruel. Prince Pruel brought some rather interesting news this morning. Ah, yes. Pruel, lifting his head, spoke with a smiling face. I believe you already know about the upcoming auction, but I have heard that at the same time, Baron Wilhelm is planning to host a charity party. That information was conveyed to me last night.